On today's episode from Chanel in the City, Princesses Long Island, she's a radio show host, TV show host, reality star, the one and only Chanel Omari.
How are you?
I'm great. And we will be giving away a Lego Hidden Side set, so stay tuned. This is Building Friendships. And here we are.
And here we are.
Here we are. All right, so let's get down to it. First step, you have to unwrap what your set is going to be, and I'll explain why I picked this set. And I don't know if you're going to remember. You're going to remember, but it's going to lead us into the discussion about how we met and where we're at. So
Okay, I'm excited. All right. Oh my God, this is too cute.
Okay,
So do I have to open the box?
No, you're going to build it without opening the box.
I'm so slow.
We're starting.
Second concussion.
So wait, I got you this
Okay.
this set, Andrea's accessories store. And do you know why I would have gotten you that set?
Because of all my accessories, all my hats, all my crazy...
No,
Okay, what, princesses?
we'll get to it in a second. Let's start unboxing.
Okay.
So we got our bags out.
Yep.
I'm going to be doing the T-Rex part of this Jurassic Park set. This is old school, so I'm going to be focusing on the T-Rex part. We have Chanel doing her Andrea's accessories.
Accessories.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's get, I want to start, we'll get back to princesses. I
Right.
want to start with how we met.
Yeah.
So we met,
And we're doing this while we're talking.
oh yeah, this is
Yeah,
going to be
okay.
an 8-hour show, yeah. That's the most fun. This is how I'm going to get the truth out of you. So we met because you were on Princesses, and our mutual friend at the time, Shelly, I was producing a show for a college kid who asked me to produce it with him.
Right.
I had Shelly and I had both graduated, but we had been talking about producing a talk show.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, "You guys want to do it?" We were using our old college studio. We're like, "Of course."
Right.
So I'm like, "Who would be a fun guest?" And Princesses had just, like, I guess, aired, and we're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this show is fascinating. Let's see if we can get Chanel," because we
Right.
thought you were the central character, which I think is
Did you?
accurate, right?
Yeah, it's very accurate, but it depends who you ask. But yes, I was the central
I think
character.
I don't think
But
you
I
had all
love-
the central storylines, but I think you were the
One that
center
brought
point.
everyone together,
Yeah.
yeah.
So so we were like, let's get Chanel on. So we got Chanel on, and that's how we met. You did our talk show in the TV studio.
Right, which
And
was
the
a lot of
reason I
fun.
brought you this set is because you were there because of a TV show, but for some reason you brought out headband accessories that I don't know if you were making them.
Yeah, I
or
was. I was
selling them.
designing them.
It was the weirdest. I just remember you pulling out headbands and giving it to Shelly, and you guys put them on, and I'm like, what is going on?
Well, because I was promoting the headpiece line at
So
the
you
time.
were designing
I was
headpieces.
designing headpieces, but it
Okay.
was also specifically because on the show, my character was like known for these like headpieces. Like,
Was she?
yeah.
I didn't pick up on
Was
that
she?
at all.
Like as if it wasn't me. Yeah, it was. You didn't see like
Well,
in the green screen interviews.
That's the thing, as if it wasn't me. We're gonna get into that.
It wasn't really.
It wasn't. It's like
20% of me.
yeah. It was I think it was a part of you. It was like if you have 5 people in your head, it was one of them. But I think that was the character. So
Right. Yeah, because you know me really well to know like that's so not me.
Well, it's funny because I do know you really well now, and the effort you go through to distance yourself from that person as a character,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, that's me. That was me. Like I had headpieces. And it's like, no, that character was big on headpiece, and you might have been like that part of you might
Yeah,
have
at
crossed
that
over into the
age.
character. But I thought it was fascinating that like the first thing you wanted to do after the reality show was like pitch your accessories line.
Yeah, so the whole thing was because, you know, when you get into reality TV, especially
Yeah.
with Bravo, you need to have a brand. So like Bethany Frankel had the Skinny Girl, and you know.
But did that come before before Bravo, or did Skinny Girl come after?
It came
I
after.
feel like
but she was
afterwards
doing
they
it-
need something to do.
Yeah, but she was doing it during. Like, so when we had the show, like I started wearing these. I have like a very eccentric fashion, as you know. I
Yeah.
kind of wear whatever I want. I love fashion. I've been in fashion. My dad's been in fashion.
Yeah.
So I'll wear whatever I want that's kooky. So I used to have to like I would want to dress very uniquely on the show. So I used to like design my own headpieces, but like I was also going through a really hard time because it's really stressful to be on reality TV.
Yeah.
And it was my first time being on reality TV because I come from like the producing background. And then all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? These headpieces made me feel, because I would get them done with this Indian woman in India, and they were like these spiritual crystals, and like they're cheaper there, but there was also like a whole like spirituality meaning behind it, or at least in my head. Anyway, I thought it was a cute accessory, and at the time it was called Chanel Omari wear, and yes, I was promoting it. So I said, I didn't realize the talk show was just like a pilot.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna come and promote them and give them as a gift. Meanwhile, they didn't go anywhere, but you could still buy them if you want.
Yeah. So.
But that's cute that you remembered. So that's with all my.
But when I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I remember she was doing accessories.
Yeah.
That was like the first thing I remembered about it was that you were doing accessories, and I thought that was like super hilarious. That like my first memory, like because I know you, now I know you as a producer mind.
Right.
So like to think that fashion was something that you were targeting at one point, I'm like, oh, that's completely out there. So
I think everyone does. Like when you're in reality TV, I think that's like the one thing you go to, like accessories. It's like the Countess Luann has her jewelry line.
Well, because I also think it's I won't say it's easy, but I think when you're marketing a product versus yourself, it's a lot easier off of reality TV. I think it's hard to market yourself on reality TV because they're creating who you are on that show.
Exactly. Like I kept saying, well, I'm a journalist. Well, I'm a producer. Well, I'm a
comedian.
Like,
sure you are, dance monkey.
Yeah, and they're like, no, you're not getting, like, this is, if you want, come out with a product, like that makes more sense, like being business savvy. So I'm assuming I'm looking through these.
Yes, those are the instructions.
Yeah, okay, because I do not do well with instructions or like number one.
Yeah, so you're going to have to open this, and the bags are numbered, so I don't know which bag. You opened 3, so we're going in number order.
You
probably want to start with number 1.
Okay.
Yeah. I kind of want to start at the beginning. What was your audition like? Like, how did you find out about the show? Why did you want to be on it? I mean, I'm assuming wanting to be in entertainment is why you wanted to be on it. But why you wanted to be on it, and what the audition was like, and what like the tape you had to submit, and all of that stuff. I want to know from the beginning.
So I've always wanted to be like in entertainment, like an actor or like an entertainer, whatever it is. I think they're all the same. A TV host. So at the time I was producing for actually Anderson Cooper. He had a daytime talk show. So I was in producing already. I was in entertainment. And a lot of times the reality TV people would like come to me and be like, oh, we want to do this show. Like I would pitch to them like after going like out a night on the town, I'd come back to work if like I was freelancing with Anderson or just some of these producers. I'd be like, you have to do a show on people on Long Island because it's just insane. My thing was though like more of like the people that live on Long Island but party in the city or party in the Hamptons. Like that was fascinating to me of like how crazy that culture is and how just insane. Like these kids are using their parents' money and like using millions of dollars or thousands of dollars going out. So I pitched a show of like kids, like the Real Girls on the Gold Coast. So at first they wanted me to
on the Gold Coast. Okay.
Yeah, like it was like a little mini Real Housewives.
Is that what Long Island is known as?
Yeah, the Gold Coast, like the Great Gatsby, CNN, Larry King, J Lo, and Anthony, Mark Anthony. I don't know. This is like society's culture or whatever. Then I was asked to come in. First they were like, "That's a great show," so they were casting around that. And then they said that when they held the casting, a lot of people would mention my name, like who is like the life of the party on Long Island, who's like the mover and shaker. So like my name, Coco or Chanel, because they call me Coco, would be thrown out.
Gotcha.
Then a friend of mine who was actually on the show, she said, you should really interview Chanel for this. She knows TV, she understands the game, like she wants to be in it, and she's vulnerable. She's able to show her real life. She's not going to hold anything back.
Yeah.
At first, they didn't want me, really. It was more like everybody else pushing my name, so they wanted it to be really genuine. I hope I'm doing this right. Anyway, so I went in for the audition. It was with 2 casting directors, and I basically told them my whole life. I told them how, you know, I am a career woman, but my parents are modern Orthodox. I still live with them because, you know, you live with your parents when times are tough and, like, you need help or whatever. And also because of the Jewish thing, it is weird
I don't
to,
even
like,
think
live on your own.
I think at that point you were relatively young to be, like, culturally Jews. I think a lot of Italians, you stay at home until you're married or engaged.
Yeah, it's just normal, you know? It's an excuse,
it's
but it's
definitely changed, but, like, growing up, everybody I knew that didn't go too far away for college would come home, you stay home until that happens.
Right.
And then I think the culture has changed a lot. But yeah.
But so then I went on and they really liked me, and I had like a storyline of like, you know, my parents were pressuring me to get married at the time. My younger sister was engaged and she was going to get married, and that's a little weird, like in the community when your younger sister gets married before you. And I did have a boyfriend at the time, but I, you know, he wasn't, I thought we were serious, he didn't. Long story short, I sent my tape in, Bravo loved it. They loved the six girls because they saw the genuine history between all of us. So we've all been friends at different capacities in life.
So you all truly did know each
yes,
other.
we all truly.
It wasn't casting random people and then saying you guys are friends now.
No, it's exactly like we all knew each other, or our siblings ran in the same circles. You know what I mean? So like
to some extent, that's the best way to get drama. Like
it is, yeah.
I think
there's actual history.
I look at the Real World and I'm like, okay, the Real World, I get it. It's strangers in a house that the different personalities are going to clash. But then when you deal with people that have a history with each other, and there's a good chance you already have things that you don't like about these people.
Exactly.
That's perfect.
Like one of the castmates, her sister was like hanging out with my brother. You know, like they dated for a little bit. So they knew already, like, even though me and her were really close, that could have been the stake of our friendship breaking up or not, you know, over siblings. So there was just a lot of, you know, and I was really close with all the girls, and it was like a really good time. It was like a really good experience. But reality TV, it doesn't promise you to be the next Bethany Frankel. Yeah. And I think that's the miscommunication of it all. Like, oh, I'm going to be on reality TV. I'm going to be famous forever.
Yeah. And that you can see that today where people are just grasping because, like, The Bachelor, for example, they die to be on, like, The Bachelor in Paradise. And like,
I tried
after The Bachelor, you're done.
I can like, show you my video for that.
Oh, my God.
You would die. But, after The Bachelor, they're done. They have to make something out of it.
And The Real World, they do those. They're going to do those challenges until someone dies. Like,
well, why do you think some of the people in The Real World or in reality TV make it and some don't? Like, what do you think it is?
I think it is the field that they plan on getting in. I think it's their dedication to the field, and I think it's just having something unique. Being the girl on The Bachelor is not unique because there are 30 per season.
Right.
So, like, look at Theo Von, look at Mike Mazanin. Like, Mike Mazanin, he started pitching his wrestling character on the real world. Yeah, Real World, and then it went into the challenges. And then he just kept trying out for WWE, and then he, like, WrestleMania, he's headlining as champion.
Right.
That Theo Von is doing amazing as a comic. Like,
but that doesn't happen for everyone. Because, for me, like, I've been trying out since then. Like, that's why I had to start Chanel in the City, because I wasn't getting. It was always like, you're too typecasted, but you were the main character on Princesses on this, like, iconic show, but, like, the show also lasted only for one season.
Yeah, and I think first of all, I think it's a blessing that it only lasted one season, because it gives you the opportunity to sort of get away from it a little bit and build your own name outside of it. I think honestly, I don't think that show was a great reflection of anybody on that show.
Really?
So, oh my God.
A lot of people though love that show too.
No, I loved it. Like, it's one of those shows that you love because it's one, you relate to characters because you know people exactly like them.
Yeah.
But two, it seems like every character had their own stereotype about the culture. And I think they really drilled in on it to the point where it was not beneficial to people's careers other than getting them TV time. I don't think anybody stood out there as someone who, like, was easy to work with, someone that was going to make an effort. It came off as 6 people with different struggles that are just living off their parents or the idea that they're in Long Island. Like,
which is sad that was the message, because what the real concept was like 6 people, struggling through life, even though they came from privileged backgrounds.
That was not what came out.
But it was supposed to be the boomerang generation at the time, where, like, kids were moving back with their parents because they didn't have that type of money, or they were, like, struggling in their love lives.
But if you really wanted to do that, if that was the point of the show, you don't call it Princesses. I mean, Princesses already has its own kind of, like, Jap. Jewish American Princess, like that.
It was more like, I think they were branding it like a Housewives franchise, where, like, they thought they were gonna get, you know.
I definitely did not see it like that. I definitely looked at it as, this is us trying to show people the spoiled community of Long Island. that is exactly what I got from it. And
Right.
the way I see it, if they wanted to do what you're showing, what you were just mentioning about like the generational thing and having to move back with your parents, you don't call it princesses.
Right.
You don't cast only Jewish girls from Long Island. This struggle is across religions. It's across locations. That was never their goal, and I think it did a disservice to a lot of the people because, I don't want to mention specific characters, but like you are a worker, and
Yes.
that's why we get along.
Yes.
There's a respect and a friendship that I have for workers versus waiters. There are waiters who just sit there and they're like, oh, look at me, I have a pretty face. It's gonna come no matter what I do.
Right.
It's bound to happen. My destiny is being on TV because I have a pretty face. And then there are people that try different things, and that's the accessories thing. That was one thing. You did radio, you do TV, you do your Chanel in the
Podcast.
City podcast. You're very active on Instagram. Like you're covering all the fields, and they all tie into one thing. And like I can see the project you end up working on is going to require you to have knowledge of all those areas.
Yes.
Like that's what a worker is, and
like work, like even with Labeled, like season 1, you were like, okay, it's only one scene. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and-
I don't care. I'll do whatever I need
and
to do.
exactly, and
I'll
that-
PA if you need me. Even
and
though
those are
I
the people
produced,
that
you know, like,
those are the people that people want to work with. At the same time, I think that show was showing the opposite.
Right.
There were people, again, I'm not going to mention names, but there were people on that show where I was looking at them and I'm like, this person's never going to survive outside of this show. As a person, not even as
Right,
an entertainer.
Because a lot of them felt very entitled in terms of
Yeah.
like they didn't realize that
And
it
again,
takes a
this
lot
is
of
based
work.
off the character on the show. I don't know them
people
personally,
right.
But yeah, I would leave. I could leave that episode being like, this person's never going to survive in the real world. I hope their parents are young because once those parents are gone, like this person will not be able to survive. And that's where I think the disservice was, because it gave off that impression, whether it's true or not. People are going to be, if somebody and I'm not saying you, but like if somebody says, hey, I was on this reality show, and somebody goes back and watches that reality show, my first thought is, oh, I don't want to work with that person. Not you, but like the person I'm thinking of.
But that's like, and that was my concern. That's why I wanted it to go past, because the first season you get to know the characters. It kind of is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then once it's second, third, fourth season, that's why we kind of fall in love with the housewives, or we kind of give them excuses because it's so many seasons
that's
to get
something
to know
I could.
them.
Yeah.
That I wish we had more seasons to kind of like show the world and the audience, like, yeah, because they were going to show like, now we're starting to work. It's like, even though we've all worked our whole lives, every single one of us, even all the girls, to their credit, we've all worked. It's because like, how are we going to get money? We've all worked at like salons or like retail stores or whatever it is in entertainment. So I feel like that's the thing, is like we could have had more of a chance to show like the point of the show was we're relatable. Even whether we're princesses, we're rich, we're not rich, like everyone has these struggles, like what you said. That should have been that was supposed to be the message, but it could have been just relayed more if we had more seasons. I think that's what the producers were aiming for.
And that's what I can understand about wanting more seasons. You're getting deeper into the character.
Yeah.
That being said, like that's a big risk. Like not I guess when you look at the Housewives, you're like, oh, of course we're going to get another season. They have 18 of them, and it's the same shit. How many tables can they flip? They're just damaging furniture at this point.
Right.
But with you guys, you guys needed that second season, and because you didn't have it, the show was more damaging to you as outside personalities than helpful.
And also, I feel like,
and that's why I'm surprised none of you decided like to like
sue the shit out of everyone.
No, that's very princesses.
Sorry, that is very princess.
That was stereotypical princess.
Sue the shit.
I don't want to spend too much time on princesses, but
Right.
what was the shooting like? Like, what was it like having them in your
Space.
just
All the
not
time.
that I can't imagine.
That was tough for me because, like, as much as I'm an extrovert, I'm also a very big introvert, and I like to be alone and not have people in my space every minute. It was tough. It was 7 days a week, no break. It wasn't like we even had a break for 6. It wasn't like 6 days. It was like 7 days a week, and we had to spend like 8 to 12-hour days. And it was in our houses, in our rooms.
Wow.
You know, producers, people, like, kind of taking over your space because that's the name of the game. That's what you sign up for.
Yeah.
That was tough for me just because, like, everybody needs their alone time, you know? And also, when that happens, you can't really hide things and you can't really not say what you're feeling. So your truth might offend other people because it's your truth. and like you're in your own space and you have no choice, you know? Imagine I was in your space every day.
Yeah.
Like I'd know more about you, and you know, you might be even
there's less ability to hide something.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably might not want something on that show, but you have no choice because you have these people in your space. So it was tough, but it was also a great experience because like I would do it again. So who am I kidding? Like I would do it again in a heartbeat if they called me tomorrow and said we're doing this. Would I be smarter of the things I've learned? Yes, but I would definitely do it.
Yeah, and that's a good way to look at it. Like I don't knock the experience. I just knock how it turned out afterwards. When I first bought my place, they asked me if I wanted to be on House Hunters.
Oh my God, that's
that would
amazing.
have been my first, but they told me they're like, you get $500. We follow you for 5 days, and then I'm about to. This is going to be ruining TV for you, but they essentially you have to already be closed on your place, and then they just show you 2 other places as the 2 options. So like if you've seen the show, they take you to 3 places, and in the end you pick the one. Those people are already in closing for the one that they picked, and the other 2 were just for production value.
And you felt like
I didn't want them following me for 10 hours a day for 10 days and for 5 days, and then after that they come back for the follow-up once you've moved into your place, and that could be any time for 5 hours to shoot. I'm like, this is too much. For $500, I'll go sell my body for more. Like, and that'll take like 30 seconds.
But House Hunters is a little different than, I feel like,
it's very different.
If it was more money, that's better.
That's my point. The point that like you are
allowed it with that amount.
That
and
you allowed them to do that for that long, and I was like, 5 days, 10 hours, 50 hours a week. Nope, I'm done. Thank you for your service. I think this is a good segue into Chanel in the City because I think we're on the same page. We need to have one point of focus, and for you, I think branding yourself through Chanel in the City is like the best point of focus.
I really do.
Because I think what you're doing is good as far as bringing people into your world.
Yep.
And it's a world that was not 100% shown on Princesses.
Correct.
So it's distancing yourself from that.
Correct.
Radio, you're very restrictive. It's like, and now so-and-so from Ariana Grande. Like,
right.
You're
My
in
personality
this
is
mode.
not really.
Yeah, you're not restricted, which is a problem when you're trying to brand yourself as yourself.
Right.
Because this person's like, you can't mention this, or
you can't promote your
with TV or film. Oh, this is I tell this story every now and then because it shows how oblivious I was to the industry as an industry.
Yeah.
Bethany and I when we were chasing down Bradley Cooper for something. Long story.
Really? That's so cool.
We were talking. Yeah, we went to go have lunch at Junior's in Times Square.
Yeah.
And what happens when you're at a restaurant and the waiter comes over and they're like, anything to drink, and you say Coke, and they say, we only have Pepsi? What would your response be?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's usually like, yeah, that's fine.
Fine.
Bethany was like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, really? You won't just have a Pepsi? She's like, well, here's the deal. I'm a spokesman for Coke, so if I'm drinking a soda in a place where they know only sells Pepsi and I'm caught just taking a picture or somebody notices me, and Bethany does get noticed. It happened last weekend.
Yeah.
But somebody notices me and I'm drinking a soda that is not Coke, I could lose that sponsorship. And I'm like, holy shit. That didn't even
cross your mind.
And someone's like, we only have Pepsi. Okay, it's the same poison.
Oh, I was going to say maybe the reason is because I would do that, but like when you're a Coke person, you're a Coke person. So like you really don't want the Pepsi because it's different taste.
I'm
Pepsi and Coke different.
They're very different tastes, and I do have a preference. But like when I
it's
go,
like what if you're in the mood for like a iced Coke, and that's what you're in the mood for?
But when I only have soda with certain things. I need them with a burger. I need them with Chinese food.
Yes.
So like if I go, my Chinese place only has Pepsi. I'm taking it because I need a soda with that meal. But for her to like, I didn't even
cross your mind that like those are the specific things.
Okay, diva, you can't have. And then she's like, oh no, I could lose my sponsorship if I'm seen drinking Pepsi and like in a picture somewhere.
But she is right that's how meticulous the industry is. It's like, and that's the difference between a rule follower, which Bethany is, and someone who's not so much of a rule follower, who is me. Well, we could learn from her though. No, but seriously,
it's
because
not that being a rule follower. It's like you.
But being respectful of like the people that are putting
money in your. It's not having a choice because it's your career.
With Chanel in the City, for me, I felt like it was this platform where I was able to ignore the negative and the toxic bullshit out there and be like, okay, I got to focus now on a podcast. I'm about to interview so-and-so, you know? I don't have the time to like analyze. And so I think it helps me progress as a person, as a talent, as a host, as an interviewer. Because I'm genuinely interested. The reason I even do it is because I'm genuinely interested in all your lives. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even do it for the fame part of it. I literally do this podcast because I'm like, I want to know what this person, I want to learn from this person how they got to where they got.
Yeah, and I think that
That helps with moving along.
No, and I think that's
life.
part of the process is understanding different ways of doing it than you've done before, and I think that's something that is always beneficial. Like to know that the way you've been going about things is not. It might not be the best way, but it's
Right.
definitely not the only way.
Yeah, exactly. That does feel better. And also surround yourself with like good people like yourself, like Bethany, like other people in this industry that I have been able to be privileged to be around, because a lot of times positive influences helps you move on in the right way too. Like helps you decide what you want to do, helps you decide, bad influences, abuse, like people putting you down, that's not going to help you move into the direction you're meant to be.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I always say, like the people I surround myself by are the only reason that I'm able to do what I do. Like when people say, why do you work? How can you do so much? It's like, because, and I know this sounds weird. I have this weird complex where I want everyone to like me, but I also want people to trust me when it comes to like, hey, I'm working on something. I think you'd be great for it.
Yeah.
I want them to trust that they're not signing on to garbage. And again, I'm not praising everything I've done as being amazing. A lot of it's been garbage.
Right.
But
that's not true. But
I actually care what people think about the projects. But those people that I care about are the people that I work with. Like when we had the screening the other night, I cared more that everybody was happy with their
role,
with how their piece came out than I am about the project as a whole. Like if people hate the project, but my cast is happy with how I put their stuff together,
then you're happy.
Then I'm
so
happy.
Actually, you have selective, like you care selectively what people think, whereas I care, I think, where everyone thinks.
I care about what the people I know think. Like Joe Schmo
That's
on
so
the
much
internet.
better. Yeah.
Like I posted
I
an
care
Insta
more.
story. Some guy fucking like the thing.
Oh yeah, you don't even care when you're blocked. I care when I'm blocked.
No, I don't care about being blocked. I think 2 of the princesses blocked me.
Did they?
From tweeting. Yeah, tweeting
Why?
during the show because I would tweet jokes during the show.
Oh, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. When we premiered Label Season 2, we did an actual YouTube premiere. So it hadn't aired. It's about 34 seconds in, some troll just posted, this is terrible, or this is garbage, or whatever. And I laughed. I'm like, dude, you've watched 35 seconds, and like 8 of those were the credit screen, or the title screen. So I was like, I can't care what everybody else thinks. I genuinely don't. Like, there are things that people have an image. So I have friends, I'm not going to name them, who like, before I post a picture of them, I have to say, is this okay to post? And then they'll come to me also because they have that mentality. They're like, hey, can I post this? And I'll have like drool coming out of my mouth, and my mouth is open or whatever. I'm
you'll be like,
I don't
okay.
fucking care.
Yeah, I'm the same way. That's the thing.
Like if somebody says, I'm not going to date him because of that Insta story, great.
I don't want to date you either.
Yeah. While we're on Chanel in the City, where can they watch it?
So you can watch it on YouTube, on the Chanel in the City YouTube page, or you can download it on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, or radio.com. Those links. It's also always a link in my bio, at Chanel Omari on Instagram, at Chanel because at Chanel in the City was taken. Just my luck again. I always have a swipe up on my Insta story, so obviously follow me. But yeah, they're on all radio platforms. Like they could download it on radio.com, Spotify, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. And I do the series on YouTube, and I do it on Insta Story. So the Chanel in the City Insta Story is like what that other night when I went to Labeled, like the screening, and I introduced a lot of people ask me, what shows are you into? What movies are you into? What restaurants are you into? What celebrities have been spotted where? What clubs are you into? I also do a segment on the Taylor Strecker show. She used to be on Sirius XM. Do you know who she is? She has she's on the DNR.
You're not going to yell at me, accusing me of knowing who she is?
She's awesome. She's been on Sirius. She has her own show now. It's called the Taylor Strecker Show. I do a segment on there of Chanel in the City of all the hot spots in the city.
Okay.
Of where you can meet celebrities, where you can spot them, what's a good deal, on a budget to go for an anniversary or a birthday, and a lot of people take a liking to that. I think what it is a lot of people want access to this crazy world I have, whether it's entertainment, whether it's with producers, whether it's with talent, whether it's going to a club and seeing all these A-listers. I think they want that access, so I'm trying to become this influencer on Insta Story where I'm giving them that access. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
So it's not about
You're
me.
like their connection to the world that they
Yeah,
haven't
it's
yet
not
experienced.
it's not even about me. I mean, literally this whole week I talked about your show, another show with Fat Baby with my friend Remy Casimir at the Stand. Like, I talk about what's cool, what's hot, where I'm going, and why you should be doing it and why you shouldn't. You know?
Okay.
Because I think there's a good niche for that, and no one really is doing. I mean, people do it in different ways.
I think there's the everyone shares their experience with a specific place, but I don't think there's I don't think there's a human form of Yelp where like people can be like, oh, I'm going to New York, I want something cool to check out.
That's actually a good way of putting it. Yeah, it's a human. Yeah, and then they'll like text me. Like, we had a listener from the podcast. She said, oh, I love your podcast. I want to go to the Mondrian Terrace because you talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a hot spot that not a lot of people can get in. I happen to know the director of operations there, of course, and PR. So what happened was she's like, can you set my birthday there with my husband? And I said, of course. So I made a reservation for her husband, and her parents. Send them a bottle of champagne on like comped, and they ended up spending money, and they ended up having a good time.
Yeah.
But the point is like she knows it only through like watching Chanel in the City of what's hot, what's not, because she doesn't know when she comes to New York what's hot, what's not.
And that's how you build your reputation.
Yeah, just an easy way of someone, you know, and it's like, yeah, I might be a concierge. Like, yeah, I went to Northeastern University to be a concierge, but it's all good. Like, one day
you have to take your skills and put them to use in a different way than like expected.
But I always laugh at myself. I'm like, one day I'll be what I want to be. I'll just have to do all this bullshit bitch work to get there.
Yep.
But just admit to everyone I was your favorite on Princesses.
Oh no, you
I was
are.
the most
That's why we're
relatable to
friends.
you, right? Yeah, that's why we are friends. Okay, I just want to make sure that like we got that out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few
Because people who
on there that
don't feel like
oh,
I was their
that's cool.
favorite, I think is a little like off the deep end. People who like the other characters, like with no shade, I'm sorry, like then you guys have
You're making yourself sound real good right now.
I'm sorry.
Just,
I'm kidding. I love everyone.
Yeah, everyone's great. Yeah, she wasn't the best character.
But that's also the hardest thing too, is like when you leave a show like that and other people have other things to say about you and you don't know how to even maintain your reputation.
You've decided to just be modest about it.
Oh yeah, just super modest about it. Do you feel like you have struggles? Like, we're both in our mid-30s now, right? You would say, well, you're not even mid. You're 33. I'm 35.
I'm 33, so we're mid.
Oh,
Yeah,
do you feel like it's harder now?
I don't. Well, here's the problem. I have no game, so like even when I was like before the internet and the online dating, I would never be able to go up to a girl and ask her out. So I had no game to begin with, and
You don't ask girls out, like you
No,
might.
I have on top of. I think it falls into wanting everybody to like me. I have a fear of rejection.
Okay.
But also a fear of like the people I tend to like
Mm-hmm.
the people I like right now are actually friends.
Okay.
So I have a fear of ruining that by asking them out, and I feel like if they liked me,
What
I'd
if
know
they like
about it.
you?
I'd know about it
How?
because I'm very good with that, and like I get vibes and like.
No.
But
Some
even-
girls
even
really
knowing
can
that-
like you and like keep it in because you are so reserved and standoffish that maybe they're scared
Well,
that
now
you reject
now I'm
them.
at the point where I just don't even. I'm so tired of trying to date that I don't want to date.
I know, it's so exhausting. It really is exhausting. I had to stop. I used to go on, I'm not even kidding you. It was a full-time job for me. I would go on 5 dates a week from Hinge, and I would make it
That's
a
a lot
point.
of free dinners.
Well, a lot of them don't want to take you to dinner. It's a lot
Really?
of drinks
See,
without
that's-
dinner.
that's
But
the
I
problem.
make them.
I have the rules.
Oh, I make them too. I'm like, no, you got to take me to dinner.
I
if you want
have rules, and they are not good.
What, that you take them to dinner?
I don't do.
Oh, you don't do dinner.
I don't do drinks. I only do dinner.
Oh, that's fabulous.
No, it's
Every girl likes that. I mean,
No,
most girls.
you
I
would
guess
be
no, you're right. You're
surprised.
right because a lot of my friends were saying it puts. But those are young
Then
girls.
I have to stick
pressure.
around. Well,
but
yeah,
if you're mature
that's-
like me and you'll stick around and you'll appreciate the
it's
nice
like
dinner.
yeah, but
Because
it's
if
like
a guy's not
you-
taking me to dinner, I ain't going in bed with you ever. Like you
well,
got to
it's
take
not
me to
even
dinner.
about bed. Like I just want fucking someone to go to the movies with.
I
Like,
know. I'll go to the movies with you.
I don't need to. No, but like it's about for me it's about if you're not willing to commit to a hour-long dinner and you need to meet a person in a dark, poorly lit, like miserable bar,
Yeah.
you're not the type of person I want to date.
Right.
Like, and I just know that from the get-go. Like, if you won't go to a
Dinner with
this
me.
is a 2 hours out of your entire week at most, for the sake of trying to find someone you want to date, then you're not somebody that I want to date.
Agreed.
End of story.
Yeah.
So, but
You have to have You have to have rules for yourself.
I find people are pushy, not pushy, but they push back on that a little bit. And I'm like, listen, I'm not forcing you to go out with me. Here's the deal. Do you want to go if you want to go on a date, I go to dinner. If you don't want to go on a date or you won't do dinner, that's fine. I'm not but that's going to be the end of it. Like there's no point in us talking.
Oh, you'll tell them that. What do they usually say?
I would say 9 times out of 10 they actually go to
dinner.
To dinner, yeah.
And why do you think that it doesn't work out? Is it more you don't like?
It's more me. I'm way
What's
picky.
your type? What's your type physically?
I'm like a 5, and I'm picky as if I were a 10.
But what?
And
So
that's
what?
my problem.
What's your type physically? It's not your problem. You are allowed and deserve to have.
Well, it's
standards.
like I can't control what I'm attracted to.
What's your physical type?
It's usually like I just really like tall brunettes. I don't know. Like that's
Tall, thin brunettes. Does it matter the body type?
The body type doesn't even matter. I really just like I'm into tall people.
Okay.
And I just happen to always.
I have a
brunettes.
friend who's like that too. A girl that's like that.
I just happen
she loves
to date
tall
brunettes.
men.
I don't know what it is.
You don't like blondes?
No, it's not that I don't like them or would be opposed to dating them. I just
haven't been attracted.
Everyone that I've ever gone on dates with has been brunette.
Have you ever had like a relationship, like a serious relationship?
Yeah. And they were with brunettes. All of them.
Do you go on dating sites, like dating apps?
Oh my god, yeah,
you
of
do.
course.
And that's how you're meeting
them. I don't take them seriously anymore. No, I haven't taken it seriously in a while. I should. I get messages and like I want to take it seriously, and then I just end up like just not caring because I'm the worst.
I mean, it's tough too because like it is kind of a lot of effort you have to put in. You got to talk to them.
That's the thing. Yeah,
you got to schedule, and it's like
a nightmare.
That's a nightmare for me. And then like when you do finally go out, you're doing that, and then after that one night they ghost you, or it's just not worth it. So it's like, why am I doing this?
Yeah,
why am
for
I
me,
going?
It's more like when you're seeing someone and then you have to now start from the beginning. And
yeah.
It's like. What and I
why can't it just be
I
fun?
understand why people go back to their exes where they're comfortable and they're like, this person knows me and I have this quirk and I'm scared to show somebody else this quirk, but this person understood it and they're okay with it. Like that I get why people
swear
go
last
by their
night that's
exes.
like I literally was debating if I should call my ex or not, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing it because it's not going to help. But it was because I felt like this dating thing's not working out. He's the only one who I feel like will tolerate my psychoness, where like he'll be okay with me calling him at 12 right now because I'm lonely or whatever. But it doesn't help too because.
But I'm also the first one to tell like a friend or somebody, don't do it. It's a bad idea. I understand why somebody would want to do it, but I'm also.
But you'd want to say, don't do it.
There's a reason it ended.
Yeah.
If they cheated, they're going to continue to cheat.
Yes.
This goes back to what I was saying to you. Like, if you let someone abuse you, they're going to abuse you. Like business wise. If you let someone cheat and then you go back to them, they're going to cheat again because now they know they can get away with it.
Exactly. Or like if they're always picking their ex-girlfriend over you, like whether they're admitting there's something going on or not, or she has a boyfriend, like that was my situation. My ex broke up with me for his ex constantly.
Yeah.
It's like nothing's going to change. You're right. Me calling 3 months later because I let time go by doesn't mean he's just going to be like, oh, she allows this. So I can let 5 months go by without talking to this girl and she'll just come back to me.
Yeah, for me.
How do you get a guy though
to
like?
For me, cheating is a respect thing. It's
yeah, me too.
It's not even a I'm unhappy thing. It's like if you're unhappy, break up with them.
Yeah,
and then it's not cheating
why
anymore.
can't they? Why can't
it
they
is
just
such
do that? Why can't most men just do that? Like, what do you think it is?
I think it's the ability to. I think it's a power thing. I think it's like I've cheated on this person and they're still with me. I have the power in this relationship. But
that's so stupid
really
to me. It's like why even have that power with another human being that's not even like.
I'm not. I mean, I don't get it. I would never cheat on someone.
I've never
I would
cheated
sooner
on
break
someone.
up with somebody.
Yeah, that's my style. I'll break up with the person. I never even want to break up with the person, but I'll break up with them if I think about cheating. Also, I don't think about cheating when I'm with someone I really like or love.
Well, of course.
Like I just don't
that's
ever.
That's the thing, and that goes back to like. If they really liked you, they wouldn't have cheated, and the fact that they cheated and you're taking them back, they now know they can do it again. And as soon as they whatever caused them to not like you before, they can now know
have a better excuse.
Yeah, well, they know that you're that it's going to eventually come up again. Whatever they didn't like about you before, it's hard to think that they're magically in love with you now.
You don't even think with time that passes by. Do you think that like their heart grows fonder for you, or just if someone doesn't like you, do you think if like time goes by, a guy could be like, oh, I changed my mind, or do you think once a guy doesn't like you, he just really doesn't like you, and if he's calling you, it's just he's bored or lonely or.
I think there comes a time where a guy will go from liking you to, like, if he cheats, this not liking you at that point. But there's also
But what is he
wow,
not
I
liking
miss
you?
this person.
But what is he not liking you? That's what I don't understand with people.
Sometimes
How do you just
they
decide you
get
don't like
annoyed.
someone?
Sometimes
It's so
people
weird.
grow apart. Sometimes there was stuff that you put up with that, like,
You didn't want to?
5 months in, you're like, I can't deal with this anymore. There are
Okay.
plenty of reasons that someone could grow apart from someone else. I just don't think that.
I always think it's the other woman though. When a guy's like, it's not about her. It's like, yes, it is. It's about somebody else who came in the picture that you're more attracted to or you feel is more on your level, and that's what makes the guy cheat and break up. Or at least that was my situation. I don't think it was like, I don't like you. I think he made up why he didn't like me. I think he just liked someone else more. Do you know what I mean? It would have been easier to be like, I like someone else more. I'm so sorry this isn't working out. Because then I won't come back to you. I won't be the psycho that tries to come back to you because I'll know, like, you really don't like me. So why would I try to open that door again?
Yeah, no, I definitely see that aspect as well. I just think genuinely that there are.
Oh my God, I really screwed this up.
Yeah, I made a mistake, but I think there are people that just that grow apart from other people, and rather than talk it out, I think there are people that break
not
up.
talk it out? I know
that cheat on other people for the sake of breaking up.
Like, I cheated on you, you found out, and now this is an excuse why you should leave me.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. I think that's why.
That is a big part of it also. There's an aspect of, I cheated on you, so you find out and break up with me because I want this to end and can't break up with you myself. Which, again, not the smartest thing, but...
Right, and I get it. It's like people might not want to break up because they're comfortable or, you know, for me, I just feel like I'm the kind of person, like, as hard as it's going to be for me to tell you what I feel, I'm going to tell you how I feel.
Yeah, and I think...
That's just who I am, so I think that, like, I have an advantage in that department where you'll know what's up with me. If I don't want to date you, you'll know. If I want to date you, you'll know.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm cheating on you, I probably won't be dating you because I'm just not about cheating. I think that's just a stupid game. I think it's just extra drama for no reason. Why have drama in your life when you don't need it, you know? Also, I think a lot of people do it because I guess it's exciting to them.
What, the cheating?
The cheating because, like, they're bored in their relationship, so they want to be in their relationship. One of my girlfriends said this, like, she went through a situation where she cheated on her boyfriend even though she loved him because she was just bored and she didn't feel like he loved her. So she did it as for excitement, but it didn't mean she wanted to be with the person she cheated with.
Yeah, and I think that's usually the case. I think there are plenty of situations where the person that the guy or girl cheats with ends up being their next girlfriend, but there are also situations where the most exciting part about it is that they were. The most exciting part is that they were cheated, is the cheating. So once that's over with and you've broken up with the person and they know that you cheated, the excitement's gone.
Gone, yeah.
And there goes any of the excitement within the relationship, which is, I just think, a common situation. I don't know.
I'm just bad with it. I know.
I need to get a girlfriend before I could deal with cheating.
Right.
Like, that's just a non-issue for me right now.
Do you ever feel sometimes that, like, people don't get your jokes? Like, are you ever scared of that? Like, I'm sometimes scared, like, I'm going to come in.
I can tell immediately through chatting online. Like, when we're talking online, I almost know immediately if she thinks I'm funny or not. Or if she'll think I'm funny. Because I'll usually start off with a joke that's either so bad that I acknowledge how bad it is, or so, like... just off the wall that she'll know the type of humor I have, and her response will dictate if I'm going to still be talking to her.
So which means you do need someone to get your humor, because if someone doesn't get your humor, you're not dating them, obviously.
Oh, forget it.
Because that's going to put you in so many, like, that's going to get you in, like,
so
many fights.
That's the other problem I'm running into. I need someone who makes me laugh. And I used to think when I first started doing stand-up, there was a part of me that was like, I never want someone that can make me laugh because I want to be the funny one. And then I started going on dates and meeting other girls that genuinely make me laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I like this. Like,
right.
I need someone
so you're, like, attracted to it.
Yeah, I'm attracted
Some guys
to someone
aren't
who's
attracted
funny.
to girls who are funny.
No, because they want to be the funny one. And I used to be like that. And that's a way that I've definitely changed, in that I don't care about being the funny one.
It's like all
I just
ego,
genuinely want her to like me.
Like, yeah. That's cute. I feel like I actually lose the guys by the minute I make them laugh, because it's like, it's a friend zone thing for them. They're kind of like not attracted to me anymore because it's like I'm their funny friend. That's kind of like the experience I've gotten, you know?
No, I can definitely
Where I want a
see
guy to
that.
be like, I'm in love with her because she's so funny and because she
Yeah.
makes me laugh.
No, I'm absolutely, like, I've learned that I absolutely need someone who makes me laugh, even if it's because she's cheesy or stupid. I just want someone where, like, no matter what shitty situation we're in, I've since I was sick, I like in my 20s, I've taken a new like look at things where like I just don't let things get to me.
Right.
And like I think it might annoy people in the sense that sometimes things to them are more serious than they are from my perspective.
Yeah.
So I'm very like careful now, but at the same time,
But that makes sense now, like why because you have been through like being sick
I'm like,
and all
look,
that.
the worst thing that could happen to you is you don't have your health. We have a flat tire and we're late to a party. We'll get over
right,
it. Let's
though.
laugh about
Yeah,
it.
because your health is the most important. Yeah. And
So
I've experienced health issues too, so I know how important it is
so
to like.
for me, I just want someone like when shit hits the fan, we're gonna be able to laugh about it.
The accessory line did so poorly during the time of the show, but yet now people are calling me to be like, hey, remember when you had that accessory line 6 years ago? Do you have inventory in it?
I'm surprised I even remembered it, but it just.
I was just giving it out like at charity events now. Now what I do is I keep it part of my brand, so I bring it to people when I do their podcast. I'm like, here's a Chanel in the City, souvenir or whatever.
Well, it's smart.
Merchandise.
Merch is one of my favorite things because people like.
You always have
they
that
get
merch,
invested. Like when we give out labeled hats, people love it.
Oh, I loved mine. Yeah, I was wearing it all over Miami. Did you see that?
I hate Miami.
Do you? I know. I like it for vacation for 4 days, but I can't live there.
I went there for the first time recently, and I hated it.
The first time?
I hated it.
Wait, you hated it? Where did you go? Because you
went to
cannot hate it for
Miami Beach.
vacation. No.
No, I went
How
for
many
work,
days?
but it was fine. We went for 5 days.
Oh, because you went for work.
Nobody wears shirts. It's a lawless town down there. They were in Burger King shirtless, and I know, there's great food. You shouldn't have Burger King. I had Burger King, and everyone was shirtless in there. It was not my favorite experience.
It wasn't. And what about but you went there for work too, so that's a little different.
I'm not a beach person, so I would never go down there for any other reason. There's nothing.
I'm more like the party nightlife is fun, like the restaurants and like, you're not like that, but like I'm like that.
After.
What about the hotels? Did you like the hotels at least?
The hotel was the best part. We stayed at Anglers. That was the best hotel I've ever stayed in my life.
Yeah.
You get in, they bring you cake to your room. That's all it took.
Oh, wow.
They won me for life.
I hope I'm doing this correctly.
So what's next in the world of
Chanel Omari?
Chanel Omari?
I like to say limitless. Like, I do want people. I'm focusing on the podcast and Chanel in the City. What I really am focusing on is building Chanel in the City as a big brand where there are different avenues for me as an artist to succeed and make sense. Whether that's acting in movies or shows, like you gave me the privilege to, and showing my talents in that, or having live podcasts, comedy shows. Maybe not necessarily stand-up comedy. I do want to do stand-up comedy more, but I'm saying like. I want to add comedy to anything I do because I think I am a comedic person. I think whether you're laughing at me or with me, I'm funny because I'm a messy. You know what I mean?
Are you taking acting classes?
Yeah, I'm taking improv and acting classes in the city with
cool.
but not like in big class, like with a coach. Like one-on-one because I don't do well in classes. I don't do well with competition. I feel like it's always like a competition when that's happened. Like you don't really learn.
Yeah, but you put that on yourself. It's not really a competition.
Well,
there's good and there's bad, and the good will rise to the top.
The bad
will not. That's what I've sort of learned. It's
that's
like you can do your own thing, independently produce your own stuff. If it's good, it'll go somewhere. If it's bad, you'll find out. Like the court of public opinion is very, very blatant.
Yeah, that I like. Yeah, and I mean, I do want to be honest. I've been working on producing. You've helped me with this, like producing my own show. We worked on a script, and it's based on my life with princesses, but not just princesses, based on a reality show person who lost it all and now is trying to make herself relevant again as a civilian in the world. To me, that's a show worth investing in and producing and pushing out there. I think it is shocking for people to see, let's say, my name in the credits, like when I used to freelance produce for other people, because they're like, wait, I don't get it. I thought you were a talent, but you're a producer. Whatever it is, I just want to create. I really want to create and tell people stories that impact others and make them feel less alone. Kind of like why I got into entertainment in the first place.
Yeah.
If I knew entertainment though was this dirty or just
How
hard,
did you not know? Like,
I
especially
didn't as a
when you
kid growing up.
I
Like
read the stories. Like I would see those things on the magazine covers.
I wasn't allowed. Like I would just watch. My mom would put me in front of the TV to watch shows, and I feel like that was my escape. So all I saw was like these amazing creatures that everybody talked about in the press that were like heroes to me, and that this entertainment industry was this magical, like Disney World. To me it was like a magical place where you could get lost and you can like. I didn't see the politics and the bullshit behind the scenes. Does that make sense? Like I didn't see it until I went through it. Like and I'm still going through it.
And I've definitely worked with people that I'm like, okay, can't work with them again.
Really?
But I'm now in a place where I am surrounding myself, like we were discussing, I'm surrounding myself with good people, and like, again, like not to make another Apatow reference, but like the way he works with the same people over and over, and Adam Sandler works with the same people over and over. That's what I'm trying to build right now. In case I do make it at some point,
I love that.
These are the people I want to work with. Like I want to bring them with me because they're easy to work with. I've worked with them before. We work well together. We make good content. Like that's the kind of thing I'm working on. This way, when you make good content and you have control over who you're working with, that shit disappears. Sure, you'll deal with like studio stuff and network
executives,
stuff, but you still also have a big enough reach. Like if Apatow wanted to start his own streaming service where he just streamed his
he can.
7 movies, he can, and he'll be fine.
Right. And that is like, I think that's a goal. I think that's a really honest goal, and I think it's a goal that, we should all strive for, because you're right. It doesn't complicate as much,
And Tyler Perry did the same. Tyler Perry's like, you're not making enough content for black
people,
creators with black creators. I'm gonna make my own studio. He now has the biggest studio.
I know,
like single-owned studio, and I have that mentality of make your own success.
Right.
Even if it doesn't happen in the traditional way, you have the power to find an avenue and make your own success, and that's sort of what I'm trying to do. And like whether it's through, and do I think this Lego show is going to be a success? No.
Well,
I'm
you
literally
never
here
know.
hanging out with friends,
that
doing
you like.
something that I genuinely love. Like when I go to birthday parties, that's where I suck it up and I drink, and I don't drink, but like I hang out with other people that are drinking, and like that's what they do for fun. Now I'm bringing friends into what I do for fun. And if something cool happens from it, great. If nothing cool happens from it, I still got to build my Lego. I'm good.
I still think
that's a good solid day.
That's a good mentality to have, and I think that like we all should. That's my point too. Is like I think I've gotten over the whole like I need a reality show or this to make me feel relevant. I think I just want to create good content and have fun with it.
Which does the exact opposite.
And feel good.
Like the reality show thing, I remember watching, I rarely watch The Bachelor, but someone was like, this season's really funny, just watch it. And they had they had 2 girls on, and like, you know how under the person's name it'll say like what their occupation was?
Yeah.
One girl literally said twin. Like her occupation was twin.
Oh, that sucks.
And I'm like, what the, like who would go on there and want this to be how they're represented?
Right.
And
well, some people, because of the fame of they just care about like being, oh my God, I'm getting a chance. You're right. Where I think this is educational actually for people to understand. If you're gonna put your feet in the entertainment industry, have standards or know what you want. Don't like go into it blindly. Like I feel like when I did Princesses, it was because I was so desperate to have a break. But you know what? Maybe it wasn't the right break, and that's okay to admit.
It definitely wasn't.
Definitely wasn't for me. And by the way, there's no shame in admitting that. That doesn't insult other people that were on the show that worked on it. Everybody worked hard and tried to make the best out of it. But for me, Chanel Omari, personally, who had a working producing career prior, like literally was, it didn't help me.
They didn't even show that at all. Like
they didn't want to.
Exactly.
Because that would be direct competition. Well, that would also be direct competition to their producers on the show. Like, why would?
Well, no, not even that. That's not the narrative.
Which is
that's
weird, though. Yeah, but now for other shows, they do that. They let the people be working people. They show that they're content producers, which is very weird to me. Why does it work with some and not work with others? Who knows? Maybe those people wouldn't have signed up for a show if they didn't have that.
It all goes to the intent of what you want to actually, what you're actually looking to display in your content. And for you guys, I genuinely think they just wanted content.
Yeah.
It was like,
it
we don't
didn't
care
matter
what it does to their career.
Yeah, we don't care what it. Yeah. So I was going to talk to you about this. A lot of people, okay, but Gary Vee, who's my mentor, you know Gary Vee.
Oh, I fucking hate Gary.
Oh,
Vee.
here we go. This is so
He's your mentor?
No,
The
like
guy
I love
who
him.
spews gibberish?
But he makes sense.
No, he doesn't. If you listen
does.
to some of his speeches, he talks in circles. A lot of it's gibberish.
You sound like my ex. He hates him too.
People together. I
He hates him too.
I listen to him and I'm like, people buy this bullshit. And
They do.
He is a good example of luck. He's a hard worker.
He's a hard worker.
But his reach is luck. He found a group of people that need that kind of gibberish encouragement.
Yeah.
And they buy everything that he feeds them.
Because he's almost like a sergeant where there's no excuses. So I need someone to push me to be like, no excuses. Because I'm the type of person, if you don't do that to me, I can sit on my couch making a million excuses up, eating bonbons, watching Housewives, binge watching, and never doing anything with my life.
So some schmo on the internet is convincing you to not do that.
Well, he's kind of like, what's it called? What's his name? Tony Robbins. I guess Tony Robbins is like more positive about it and less aggressive, I would say, like the word is.
Gary Vee just
Gary Vee's like, you can mother effing do it. You can do it in the morning. You can do it in the night. You can do it in the afternoon. It's like, when do you ever sleep?
No, Gary Vee is what I would call the biggest millennial scam. Like, he found his target audience, which is millennials who will believe anything, who like voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Like, that's his target audience.
But he was saying something about luck, and this is the irony. You're like, yeah, of course he's going to say something about luck because he had the luck. But he said that it has nothing to do with luck.
Which is bullshit.
And I kind of like, but I do agree.
Which
it's like,
is bullshit.
No, but how could you say someone has more luck than another person? That's the bullshit we've been buying, I feel.
How
could somebody have more luck when they're so not even talented?
You accidentally type the word cereal.
Okay.
And the algorithm puts you in front of Ellen, who happens to be Googling cereal on YouTube.
Okay.
And then you're reviewing a fucking cake made out of Fruit Loops. And the next week, you're now on the Ellen show reviewing things for her, and you have Ellen branding. That's fucking luck. So for Gary Vee to say, everyone who has talent is going to make it, no, luck is a part of it. Gary Vee, who came out of fucking nowhere, and now he's
come out of nowhere.
He's like the church of the internet. Like, shut the fuck up, weirdo. Oh, I'm in the studio with Wyclef Jean. We're doing it. Dude, he's using you for your followers. He does not want to be here with you. Calm down, Gary Vee. Oh, such bullshit.
I would love to see you and Gary Vee I would love to see you and Gary Vee do Legos. He'd be like, dude, I told you.
Dude, you could do 8,000 Legos in 30 minutes. Just put your mind to it. Nothing's impossible. Gary Vee, I only have 2 hands. And there's 8,000 pieces. You could have 3 hands if you believe you have 3 hands. Shut the fuck up, Gary Vee. I only have 2 hands. That's not how science works.
I can't even.
I can't. All right, I think that's about it. So, how are we doing? How are you doing?
I'm not doing great.
I
messed up.
I have a torso, a leg, and a foot.
Okay, I don't know what this is.
You have 2 separate buildings.
But they're not supposed to even,
no,
they're supposed to be one.
To be connected.
Yeah, and I don't know how to connect them.
Yeah, you did a job here.
Did a terrible job, but somehow, we have a way to go. I have my little girls. I don't even know where to sit them because
don't sit. That place doesn't look stable. Don't sit them
where
anywhere
should I sit them?
now.
Let's see at the end.
We're gonna have to train you because this is bad.
It's bad.
So yeah, thank you to Chanel Omari for being my guest today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Make sure you check out Chanel in the City. #Chanel in the City.
Yes.
Chanel in the is the Instagram.
It's the
Chanel
Instagram.
Omari is your personal Instagram.
Yes.
And do you have a website they could go to for?
Yes, and ChanelOmari.com, and there's my blog, Chanel in the City, under that.
All be down in that description area.
And podcast, swipe up, not swipe up, but go download Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, radio.com, Chanel in the City. You'll find fun facts.
As mentioned, look in the description. I'll explain how you can win this Lego Hidden Side set, the juice bar. Seems pretty cool.
Seems really cool.
They're incorporating technology where, like, if you hold your phone up to it, you see image.
That's really cool.
Lego's getting too complicated. I just want to build dinosaurs. Thank you, guys, and we will see you next time.